Let me take you for a little bit of a walk here in the woods. I'm testing out this this camera on the go here, but one thing I want to say is that there is such thing as too much of a good thing. You know what I'm saying? An example: I was at a goat farm the other day getting some goat milk from this farmer, and he was talking to me about how stressful it was being a farmer and doing what he's doing. There's always something to do. He's always getting behind, right? And his thoughts never stop. So I introduced him to a breathing exercise. I said, hey, you know, maybe you want to start learning some yogic breathing, you know? So I thought I was being pretty helpful. But in that moment, after I showed him how to do some yogic breathing, it was the funniest part about this, it was the first breath he took, he actually inhaled a fly and ate it. Now, the funny thing about this is that, you know, I'm not saying that he was breathing too much or anything or doing anything wrong, but it really elicits the point that there is such thing as too much of a good thing. And a lot of times people, they'll lift heavy weights, get some great results. And then what happens is that they're like, okay, I got to lift heavy all the time. Same thing happens with the guys lifting light weights. They're like, oh yeah, I got a great pump. I got to lift light all the time. You know, you'll see all these extremists. You could say they're like bodybuilding terrorists. You know what I'm saying? They're like bodybuilding terrorists, and I don't feel extreme in describing them that way. You know what I'm saying? They're really trying to say that everything is one way when there are some general principles, like I've said a million times, but those principles will change depending on the circumstance. And if you're not wide awake, listening in the moment to those circumstances, you are going to experience the repercussion from not listening. That's the whole thing. I'm in a darker forest now. It's kind of scary here. I don't want you guys to get scared, so I don't want you guys to get scared, so let me just do this. Okay, there you go. It's a little bit brighter for you. Okay, you can handle that? Okay. I can't have any shit in your pants, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm taking you for a walk. Anyway, all joking aside, the bottom line is that heavyweight is great. Range of motion is great. That's the other one people get messed up with. Stretching is another example, right? People will look at an exercise and do a little bit of a stretch on that exercise, and they're like, oh wow, you know, a little bit of stretch is good. That means more stretch is automatically better. But that's just simply not the case, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where if you're stretching beyond a certain point, then the risk of injury goes up, and there's a point of diminishing return. And that's really something that people have to take into account. The diminishing return principle, let's put it that way. You know, there's a point to where heavyweight's good, and then there's a point to where it just injures you. There's a point to where high reps are good, then there's a point to where it just turns into an endurance workout and you don't get any benefit. So the point of diminishing return is the underestimated principle that is so relevant for anybody training, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not incorporating your awareness first and foremost to whatever it is you're doing, you're not really growing in wisdom. You're not really learning anything. So I'd say it's time to get back to the drawing board and start doing your workouts, but paying attention first and foremost. All right, guys, I know you're in here, huh? I know you're in here. I can smell the protein farts. Come on, cough up the cash for the workout programs. They're not for free, all right? Huh? So one thing people don't know about Sasquatch is they're incredibly cheap. They won't pay for anything. Now the truth is, I don't really care what you do with your workouts. I really don't. I'm just a guy just looking for an excuse to wander through the forest with a camera and talk to you. But this just seems to be the subject that comes up over and over again. But the thing is that if you want to gain anything from me and what I have to say, I'll just say this: awareness first, and trust your own sensations. As you become clearer, like you're not, you know, you're not like one of those people that's scared of pain or anything. But once you start to understand the difference between good pain and bad pain, and you start to not trust your laziness, of course, then you can actually start to get some pretty decent results, because now you're no longer listening to the regulatory body of what is the right way to train. Because a lot of times those guys are, first of all, a lot of them aren't natural. And a lot of them have something to gain because they're trying to teach you something and profit from it at the same time. So it's not always in your best interest to listen to just some random people, but listening to the sensations your body's telling you is definitely going to give you, you know, a pretty good idea of what's working. Like one time when I was really young, I went to a doctor, and this guy was probably smarter than a lot of doctors, right? I said, hey, listen, when I squat and I go down really deep, hurts my knees. He goes, well, then don't do that. You know, sometimes logic is very simple. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be so complicated. And I think that a lot of times in this overthinking age that we live in now, where people think if they can outsmart themselves, that somehow they naturally have made some sort of discovery. But a lot of times what's happening is that they're just overcomplicating shit just to market or brand themselves. So yeah, don't fall for that shit. Oh, what do we have here? What's this about, huh? Woo-wee. What's that? What's this about, huh? Look at that puppy. Oh yeah. That's right. That's what I've been looking for. Yeah. Yeah, don't fall for marketing crap. Don't fall for it. You know what I mean? There's always somebody out there trying to exploit you. And, you know, you fall for that kind of crap, and then you'll never find out what works for you. I mean, of course, there's some legitimate sort of tools of the trade out there that are going to help you out, like, you know, exercise sticks. But by the way, if you want one of these original pieces of equipment, just send $79,995 to my website, naturalgalantbodybuilding.com, and you can have one of these sticks. Chances are it's already waiting for you in the forest nearby you. Just go out there, and I've already delivered it. You know, the nice part about running my YouTube channel is that I do have those Sasquatches in shipping, and they're psychic, just so you know. They're psychic and precognitive, so they can already sense your order ahead of time, so they already ship it way before you even order. So yeah, this stick is probably waiting for you already, right where you are. Mountain. So yeah, don't overcomplicate things, and also, sometimes you can have too much of a good thing. So it's about the amount of something, you know, how much heavy weight you're doing, how often, how much lightweight you're doing, how often. And sometimes you got to find that perfect mix. So don't throw things out just because you did too much and then hurt yourself, but find that happy medium. Find that happy medium between recovery and training hard. And from there, you're going to get a lot more results in the long run. Mountain. So I hope this helps out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now.